Today, I'm speaking to you outside Libya, but I'm going to explain my experiences in Libya and the experience that I had to endure with the UNHCR and what it means to have a voice from the refugees in Libya. When I arrived in Libya due to the civil wars in my country, South Sudan, seeking protection and then arriving to Libya to only meet with the nightmares which was made of torture, exploitations, and different cycle of violence that I had to go through until I approached the UNHCR headquarters in Tripoli to call for protection, to be protected, to be recognized. But upon my registration, there was nothing given to me apart from an asylum document which they presented to me. Afterward, I had to scramble. I had to repeat the call, to knock on their doors for several years. My asylum was under process for more than 3 years. They never told me if my asylum have been granted or if I was a refugee. They never provided any medical support. They never provided any financial support, shelter, or any sort of accommodation. I was met with brutal attack several times in front of their headquarters because of the militias who were guarding the building. This has happened constantly and in repeated ways. We have tried to report this to the UNHCR headquarters in Geneva by sending emails, by sending anonymous messages with all this information, but it all went unanswered. We have lived a very awful experiences with the UNHCR, who are supposed to protect us in Libya. During the protest last year in front of the UNHCR headquarters, we were calling to be recognized. We were calling to be protected until the UNHCR headquarters in Sarraj, they shut their office in our face. We were hungry people. We were needy people in desperate condition, pregnant women, but we were abandoned and neglected by the UNHCR. This was a clear violation and a clear failure that the UNHCR were and are not able to protect the people under its mandate in the Libyan territory. Therefore, we started to protest. We formed the Collective of Refugees in Libya to educate ourselves about our fundamental human rights, to call on the Libyan authority to recognize us as human beings, to protect our fundamental human rights. We were also calling for the UNHCR to work together with the Libyan government to sign the Geneva Convention of 1951, which they did not sign and ratify. Under this pretext, all the necessary basic needs which we needed for our survivals have been denied. The protection of our fundamental human rights have been denied under this pretext that Libya is not a part of this treaty. The movement refugees in Libya meant so much to us, to me personally, because it was necessary to give a voice to ourselves. It was necessary to alert the international community that we were in Libya, that we have been abandoned even by the international community, that the UNHCR, who are supposed to protect our fundamental human rights and our lives, have been watching passively without any reaction, have been cooperating and supporting the militias against the people whom they are supposed to protect. The UNHCR have been very unfair. The UNHCR have been very unfair to pregnant women, to newly born babies who live in the street. The UNHCR have been very unfair to people with mental disorder in Tripoli. The UNHCR in Libya have been very unfair to all the people who needed to be protected. The UNHCR have been very unfair for all those who registered with the Commission and had to wait for 5 to 10 years for their files to be processed, for their asylum to be granted. The UNHCR is unfair.